So in preparation for today, I'm drawing both on the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh and on the teachings of Ken MacLeod. Thich Nhat Hanh opens his book, Teachings on Love, with the Four Immeasurable Minds, saying, happiness is only possible with true love. True love has the power to heal and transform the situation around us and bring deep meaning to our lives. And he recounts the story of a Brahmin man who asked the Buddha, what can I do to make sure that I will be in heaven and eternally with Brahma after I die? And the Buddha replied, as Brahma is the source of love, to dwell within him, you must practice the Brahma Viharas, love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. The four elements of true love. And a Vihara is an abode or a dwelling place. And they are called the immeasurable because when we practice them, they grow in us until they embrace the whole world. And embodying them, we become happier and everyone around us becomes happier. They are the very nature of an enlightened person. The power within loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity comes from their ability to open up a moment of presence. Within the light of presence, we see how to heal anger, sorrow, insecurity, sadness, hatred, loneliness, and unhealthy attachments. Whenever one of these states of affliction and suffering arise within us, we can practice meditation on love, compassion, equanimity for the person who has brought about these feelings. If anyone is interested in delving into this type of meditation, Ken MacLeod's book, Wake Up to Your Life, is an amazing resource. Ken is dedicated to developing and teaching Buddhist practices that break down the reactive emotions associated with our habitual patterns, which is the place that many people relate to most of the time. And Ken MacLeod experiences the immeasurables as embodying the quality of mercy, which flows from the heart, transforming the anger of the persecutor and the fear of the victim. And he uses a quote from Shakespeare that says, the quality of mercy is not strained. It drops as gentle rain from heaven. Upon the place beneath, it is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. While being impersonal, both mercy and the immeasurables are intensely intimate. Unlike our reactive emotions, the four immeasurables do not function in the service of any habituated pattern, sense of self, or personal agenda. They operate on a higher level of attention. As long as our actions and feelings operate in the service of personal agendas, we will not be capable of holding such presence. Ken MacLeod shares the dynamic qualities of the immeasurables, how they work within us to liberate us from habituated patterns. He says, love is radiant warmth, independent of personal likes and dislikes. that stops us from shutting down to others. Compassion counteracts discomfort, withdrawal, or contraction in the face of others' pain so that we can stay very present with them. And joy in being and passion for life eliminates envy and criticism of other people's success and happiness. And equanimity dismantles our reactive judgments and prejudices about other people so that we understand and appreciate them as they are. Ordinarily, we think of emotions as being either positive or negative. But in Buddhism, the more important differentiation is between reaction and response. Reactions are always based on agendas associated with the sense of I, and consequently do not serve the reality of the situation. The Four Immeasurables are emotional responses, not reactions. They dissolve subject-object duality and so transform the giver and the receiver. As both the giver and the receiver experience a moment of presence outside of ordinary reaction. And the Four Immeasurables serve as an important bridge to the practice of insight, in which we see directly into the nature of experience and are able to penetrate through three habituated patterns. And he names these as subject-object perception, taking subjective experience as reality, and the fear that makes us turn away from open, direct awareness. True love is Maitri, the intention and capacity to offer joy and happiness to others. And Thich Nhat Hanh illuminates that to develop our capacity to love, we have to practice looking and listening deeply to what we know. So that we know what to do and what not to do to make other people happy. He points out that without understanding, our love is not Maitri. And I found this insight that understanding is key to having real love. I don't know, it just came right at the right moment for me. And I just wanted to speak a little bit from my life. Even though we have lived apart for longer than we were married, the man who's the father of my children, he and I still periodically get together to take our relationship further because of the misunderstandings that happened that caused us to separate. And I was just so excited to read that about understanding, because I realized that not only do we have to penetrate the other person to know what they like and need, we also have to reveal who we are and be honest about ourselves. And that was the glitch in our relationship. There was some deep coming out that needed to happen that couldn't be honestly shared. And so we didn't get to take hold of true love, even though we loved each other and we were very attached in many ways. We didn't have that springboard of true love, of facing what the real issues are. And then that's when love can come in. And so I just found that so amazing to just start working with it. Let's see. Yeah, so it's a deep understanding that now that we've all received conditioning from our family and from our cultures that have caused us to hide aspects of ourselves. And that makes it very difficult to have honest relationship. And this kind of took me on a little journey of realizing that the process of gaining understanding can be messy and entangled, bringing forward, our reactivity rather than response to one another. And I think this is where people get stuck. And it takes a real field of trust for understanding to emerge. And this can take time. And yet I saw it was that understanding and love actually grow between these kinds of relationships between all of us. It's like with each other that we arise into understanding, and that it requires that we hold a really strong intention to make it through where we're getting reactive or the other person is getting reactive. And we come to know and bring forward who we are in relationship. It's through our interactions within and our interbeing who as we co-arise.
And now Cynthia West's offering of the week. Sparks form campfires. The star bear carries a bag of songs that are paths to the breath that breathes us, with green branching melodies, with roots stretching back to the original seed, with welcome for lost children. The chants have waited long for us to ask for help. Too many layers of mistakes have bound our hands from reaching out, begging the bear for the music that we forgot. Sparks from our campfires have vanished into stellar winds for centuries. The moon has danced us across the skies for more eons than we can count. It took forever to bow beside the spring river, palms open to receive a leafing song, to teach our feet to walk. Sitting around the fire together, we've rejoined the soaring sparks. Too worn to keep pretending, we've let the generous bear plant songs in our hearts, ancient wings to fly us past the Milky Way.